Something about the feet of Dracula.
Every episode of Epic Universe, it always comes back to Dracula's feet.
Well, they need the merch. We need to see it.
How funny would that be? A keychain that is just Dracula's two little feet dangling off. I would buy the hell out of that keychain.
Sup, Park Peeps? I'm Demi from Magical Hijinx.
And I'm entertainment journalist Joey Nolfi, strapping in for the Park Peeps podcast, the ultimate theme park show where unhinged passion, travel expertise, and coaster nerd chaos collide. And this week we welcome Nick, the theme park dad, to reflect on 1 year of Epic Universe and how this theme park has changed the parks industry for good.
So buckle up and pull up on that yellow strap as we dispatch for season 2 of the Park Peeps podcast.
These catacombs stretch for miles beneath Darkmoor. Even I haven't uncovered all the secrets my great-great-grandfather left down here. Igor, take control of their machine.
Hello, dear Park Peeps listeners, and welcome back to another special edition of the show celebrating truly one of the biggest milestones in theme park history that my co-host Demi and I were lucky enough to live through, and given our current circumstances, chained up in the basement of Dr. Victoria Frankenstein's manor, survive at all in the first place.
Open the doors!
Joey, it does appear that Dr. Victoria Frankenstein is allowing us to come out of our cells to feed, as Igor calls it. What do you think is on the menu today?
It's feet, lots of feet, maybe some cartilage as a light garnish.
That sounds tempting. I mean, I would have preferred some fish milk, but this is supposed to be quite different after experiencing Universal Epic Universe for the first time last summer when the new theme park opened. We quickly signed a lease and moved into Darkmoor.
But we did not, in fact, read the fine print on that lease. Everybody, read your fine print on your lease, because that stipulated that rent would be paid in the form of body parts, slowly harvested, finely ground into various concoctions on behalf of Igor. So here we are, broadcasting from our stubs. The stubs are returning, celebrating 1 year of Epic Universe.
Yeah, cousin Igor, he's having a real ball with us. And, we are so grateful that our landlords, our hosts, gracious hosts of Darkmoor, Dr. Victoria Frankenstein and Igor, allowed us to welcome a theme park specialist as our guest to help us reflect on 1 year since Epic Universe, how this theme park has changed the park's landscape, and what might be next for this ambitious project.
Now entering the dungeon to accompany us on this journey and to hand feed us our rations because we have been reduced to stubs on our hands. Please welcome Nick, the theme park dad.
Welcome, Nick.
Hello.
Yes, welcome to the dungeon.
I'm so excited to be here.
Are you really? Are you excited to be in the dungeon?
Hello, you delightful freaks.
There it is. Yeah, cousin Igor is just, having a real ball with us, but they're so nice that they, allowed you to come in and, talk with us. And, do you have any rations with you? We're pretty hungry.
Any at all?
I don't know. I didn't bring any of the, what are they? The cheddar coal bites from the Burning Blade. I should have stopped by the Burning Blade on my way in, but
you are wearing a Pizza Moon shirt, so are you like a delivery boy for Pizza Moon?
Not a delivery boy.
Wow, a delivery service of Pizza Moon would be actually my dream. So.
Yes. And actually, if you had brought the cheese balls, you would have killed me because I am gluten intolerant. I would have. We'll
avoid those.
Yeah. You would have killed me because as much as I love them, they are the biggest like agita influence, acid reflux. They taste amazing. They taste like Taco Bell, and that's the only way to describe it. But man, it is heartburn. Bring those Tums.
They're good. The food at Burning, we're jumping right in, but the food at Burning Blade is super delicious. I love the food there. It's such a good spot for a good bite. But my favorite thing there is the mead. So good. I didn't even know what mead was until Epic Universe happened.
I still don't know what it is.
Yeah,
it's like a type of wine,
right? Well, yes, but I don't know what it is.
It comes from honey, I think.
Great, sold, love it.
Well, my shoe certainly loved getting a nice helping of sauce on it. My brand new white shoes when we were there a few weeks ago, Nick. Really loved the food. No, I love Burning Blade. It's probably my favorite place to get food outside of the tteokbokki. How do you say that?
Yeah, Demi, you introduced me to that, and now I can't. Every time I go, I lose my mind because the tteokbokki, I don't know how to pronounce it, but at the bow, it's like right at the bow place between Stardust and Burke. And Demi was like, "You need to get this because I needed something savory and quick." And it's just like sausages, hot dog sausages wrapped in like rice paper and cheese and scallions and. It is.
I didn't really know what to expect with that, and I bit into it. And like there was like mini hot dogs in there. I was like, I was not expecting this. It was a pleasant surprise, but I was not prepared.
Listen, I would rather be biting into the mini hot dogs that have an Igor chomping on my actual dogs that he has
Full
removed.
Circle.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I had to actually just recently explain to cousin Igor that he's having very little success in gathering some digits, aka fingers, and it's because he keeps asking for like pointer fingers or thumbs or pinkies or middle fingers. And I'm like, Igor, you'll have more success if you ask for the ring finger because the thumb and the pinky are necessary to grab things. The pointer you need to be able to point at things. The middle finger, obviously, we don't have to say why we need her. So he just wouldn't really click into him. And I think he's just going to keep struggling. So cousin Igor, if you're listening, please start asking for the ring fingers because we can always move our wedding bands to a different finger. That's not an issue.
Fine.
Yeah, my wedding band that I have.
With you and Figment.
Yeah, me and Figment. That's right. Delusion in my head. Well, Nick, thank you again for joining us down here in the dungeon. We really do appreciate it. And I'm not sure, I have to be honest, I'm not sure if you're going to leave. Just so you know, you might be stuck down here. So this might have been a trap. But I am curious before we start talking about our 1 year since Epic Universe celebration. We're going to be diving into all things that we love about Epic, some things that we might have observed might need to maybe do a little bit of work that might need to be done. And then also what's next. But I am curious if you have anything coming up on your socials or any exciting projects you're working on that you would love for our listeners to pay attention to.
Oh yeah, I mean, I am always just sharing theme park adventures with my family, which is a lot of fun. It's the theme park dad. And yeah, we have a lot of fun together. Summer is going to be starting soon, which is exciting. We've got some fun trips planned this summer. Not anything out of the state, just some local stuff, but I'm super excited to kind of share some of those adventures. But I think just in general, I like to go to the parks with my family and love to take people along on those adventures. So it's always fun. We have a good time together for sure.
You do, and you make such fun content, and you guys are just so adorable, like such a beautiful little family you've made, and I love following your adventures. But then you also you drop in those like hilarious reels.
You never know what you're going to get over at the theme park, Dad. That's for sure. It's a mix.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're just like a nice, wholesome family, and then I'm like, Demi, I'm bringing my 900 fake children and my cursed Laura Dern dinosaur with the hair that I always bring out. These are my children. And this is what I am. So it's nice to see a real family out there actually doing what they're supposed to do and like being close and having a fun time and sharing it with everybody. And it's just so beautiful.
We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. I've been doing like social media since 2018. And so my son at the time, he was 4, my oldest. He'll be turning 10 this summer. And so it's cool just to see like how that's changed, but also just to see his like interest and passion for it. He will grab my camera when we're eating dinner and just pretend like he's vlogging. He'll do reviews of the food for dinner, which is slightly concerning when mom or dad cook the meal because you're like, oh, don't be too honest. But no, we have a lot of fun, and it really is. It's cute. They both, the signs that kids do on the first day of school where they write like what they want to be when they grow up.
Oh, yeah. What did he say?
One of my sons said a podcaster, which was really cool because I have a podcast. I have not posted on that podcast in quite some time. I'm taking a little bit of a sabbatical from it. I needed a little bit of a break. I've been podcasting for years. I was on a podcast called The Happiest Podcast on Earth. I was on that for a while. That podcast no longer exists. Did a podcast with my friend Tim Tracker. We did a podcast together called That Tracks for a year. And then I had started a new one and my co-host left. And so I just sort of have been like all over the place in the podcast space. But they have seen that and they have seen me podcasting for quite some time. And so that was really precious. One put podcaster and the other put vlogger, which is also very exciting. So it's bizarre because you know, it's such a new era, right? We are pioneering this world of content creation. Our parents didn't have access to any of these things, and it was not a profession for them or even an option to be a profession. And so to be a parent in the world where it exists, it's fascinating. And I would never discourage my kids from wanting to do what I do. That seems silly. Like, there's so many kids that grow up to say, like, I want to be whatever my parent does, and so why would I discourage them from that? It does scare me because the internet is the internet, and so you never know. Like, it's an interesting place, and they will not be on the internet for quite some time for sure. But yeah, no, it's cool. It's really fun. It's a lot of fun that we have over at the theme park down, and I love that they sometimes want to be included in some of the stuff that we do. So
that's so cute.
I love that.
You know, once they see me though in this Captain Cacao hat, they're gonna be like, I think podcasting let's go be a librarian. Yeah, no, they're switching to librarians.
They have
my sister-in-law is a librarian. So. she makes good living and great benefits.
I love it.
Well, listen.
Wow.
We should, after that nice little, that is like maybe the first wholesome peeps segment that we've ever done. I mean, we are here for it because we're usually just being silly and stupid. And this is just,
I'm bringing serious talk to the dungeon, I guess.
You are. I think that after that, Victoria might be like, you know what? He's got kids to go home to, so we're going to let him out.
Yeah.
But Demi and I, unfortunately, get out of the dungeon free. That's right. Now, speaking of fond, wholesome memories, I do want to just give a brief overview of, when I say brief, I mean very brief, of Epic Universe, because everybody who's listening to this podcast probably knows what Epic Universe is. We've been talking about it on this pod for a year, but this is Universal's brand new, well, I guess not brand new anymore, it's a year old, a theme park that is technically their third, but they call it their fourth, but it opened on May 22nd, 2025. It is the first new major non-water park theme park to open in Orlando since Islands of Adventure on May 28th, 1999. So, because Universal considers Volcano Bay their fourth park. Now, from concept art to final execution, I do think it is virtually the same outside of a few changes. There was the monster stage show that was replaced by Curse of the Werewolf, and then there was also a restaurant that was in concept art that was rumored to be called I think it was Cassini was the name that it was supposed to be called, but that is nowhere to be found in the final park. But pretty much outside of that, everything is very much the same as what we saw in the concept art. The entrance plaza changed a little bit, but pretty much they stayed the course.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to, since it has been 1 year, I want to start with a brief overview. And Nick, we'll start with you. Your initial impressions of the park the first time you went, things that you think that this park does that uniquely signify the Universal brand, and what stuck out to you in that department when you first went.
Yeah, I mean, I'll never forget getting to walk through the Kronos for the first time. I went with my oldest, Luke, and surprised him that morning. We had talked about Epic Universe. We were all so excited, and surprised him that morning and told him to get in the car. We're going to Epic. So it was very fun. It was very exciting and just so special. I think, like, in terms of the highlights for me, two moments that really stood out in my first visit to Epic Universe was first walking into Berk. I was very excited for How to Train Your Dragon, been a fan for years of that franchise. Those movies are very special to me. And I got emotional. I cried when I walked through the portal to Berk for the first time. I suspected that would happen, but it really was it's just, theme parks have this beautiful ability to take something that you always imagined or a place that you sort of transported yourself to, and when a theme park is able to take that and then make it real and put it in front of you, it's a really special moment. So that was really special for me. And then another moment where I got very emotional, and I didn't expect to get emotional here. I was excited, but walking into Battle at the Ministry into the queue for the first time, and walking into and seeing the Ministry of Magic, I was overcome with emotion. Tears were rolling down my face, because again, it was just like, oh my gosh, we're here. You know,
Yeah.
This is wild. It to me, it looked better than probably what the actual set for the movie looked like. You know, it was just they literally made the Ministry of Magic. This is so wild to me.
Yeah.
So.
And I love that you picked the two places too that like when you walk in, it's just super full scale. And I think that's like the biggest difference with Epic of just how massive everything is. And that first walkthrough of Burke and of course into Ministry, you're just like hit with just these giant statues or, you know, the Vikings. And it's overwhelming because it's not forced perspective. It's just perspective.
Huge.
It's just perspective.
No, literally.
I mean, it really is. I mean, because I'm certainly no Harry Potter fan. I don't, for various reasons, I don't necessarily like to talk about that land. But I do think that it is, you know, as someone who is not a fan and well versed in the Harry Potter space. The craftsmanship that's what made me emotional going into it because I don't have an emotional connection to that franchise, but I don't even think I got past book 3, honestly, but when I was a child, but I just the skill and you can see it's one where I do appreciate when you can see the craftsmanship that went into it. Because a lot of the times these things, Demi, we talk about very much how a lot of things are designed to not be seen. This, I feel like it was designed to be seen, and that has a different impact. And I do think that is something that Universal is definitely leaning more into, especially in the last 10 to 15 years of these gigantic, big scale projects that combine unique thrill and prove that you can do big thrill in a theme park, but that doesn't mean that you have to sort of skimp on the craftsmanship and the design and the artistry that goes into this stuff, because these are art pieces to me. There's a lot of people that think art, once you have an interactive element or once you have an experiential element, that art is no longer art and it doesn't serve a purpose. But this, to me, I think that this whole park is a big testament to that artistry can transcend, like, the medium. It doesn't have to be such a rigid definition. And just because you're experiencing something and it's giving you joy or fear, if you're afraid of the ride, because there's that sort of emotional experiential element, doesn't mean that it's not art. This is just grand scale art on such an impressive way. And I love that it signals where I think Universal really has its priorities going forward. So, I'm glad that you singled that one out, because it is such it's jaw dropping. It doesn't matter if you're a fan of Harry Potter. You walk into that and you are bowled over. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's powerful for sure.
It really is. And I also, Demi and I love Dark Universe, and I think that Dark Universe is a highlight too, because it's a standout year-round permanent horror land, and it's really the only one of its kind at a major theme park in the United States, at least. Like, I can think of, there's a few in Europe where there's like a more horror leaning kind of vibe, but I can't really think of any others in the United States. So that to me is a landmark impact of the theme park space that I know Demi is super excited about too.
Yeah, and I'm just waiting for. I'm greedy. I want that expansion.
We're gonna get to that. We are gonna get to that for sure.
Yeah, but for Darkmoor is special. I've not seen many of the Universal Monsters movies. I did a little bit of research before Epic opened, so that I was somewhat familiar. But as someone who is not necessarily a horror, I've never been to Halloween Horror Nights. Horror is not like in my typical wheelhouse. I have really grown to appreciate Dark Universe and the Universal Monsters so much because of Darkmoor, because of Epic Universe. So like Monsters Unchained, I know we'll get to all of these things, but it's art. That is art. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite rides that I've ever been on. It's incredible.
Art the Clown.
No,
Art the Clown.
No, Art the Clown.
Wait a minute. We need to hold up.
Art the Clown is an extreme. I can deal with Igor.
He's on my nails right now.
It's a little extreme. I'm not quite ready for art yet. So
listen, Nick.
Nick stayed behind and didn't come to Horror Nights last year.
We're gonna scratch we're gonna scratch the record, and we're going back. So you just casually dropped in front of Demi and I that you've never been to horror nights. Now Demi knows you better, obviously. Like you've met Demi in person before. This is my first meeting with you, and I'm gooped and gagged. Sir, can you please tell me? Is this like a fear thing? Because I know our dear friend Emma of all years, she won't do it. She is very afraid of spooky things. Yeah. So is it like a fear thing for you?
Part of it is a fear thing. I struggle with anxiety, and so it does, in some ways, make me more anxious, and so I try to avoid those situations as much as I can. But yeah, definitely a fear, and then just sort of like uncomfortable. How that, with the idea of sort of listening to other people screaming, makes me a little anxious.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
But I'm open. More open than I ever have been, which is saying something, because I've always been very much like, nah, miss me with Matt. The big thing this year that I'm like anxiously awaiting to see all of the house announcements. I love Stranger Things. Stranger Things is one of my favorite franchises, and I never went to any of the Stranger Things houses that they've done before. But I feel like because the series just wrapped, it feels like it would be appropriate if they did a Stranger Things house for me to go to that. Obviously there's big ifs there, but we'll see. I don't know.
I think it's a pretty heavy rumor at this point.
I think it'll probably happen. I think it probably will. But wow, way to make me feel bad. You're like, well, I have anxiety, and I'm like, well, okay, Nick, make me.
No, this is a very normal conversation. My friend Tim, that I did a podcast with, Tim is like, he lives for HHN. Like that's his Super Bowl every year, and so he would always be like, so you coming? He's invited me on to like RIP tours, all of the things, and I'm always like, no, that's okay. I do social media for Undercover Tourist, aka Theme Park Frog, on Instagram, and I help cover that event by being home and get all of the videos and help upload said videos in real time, because that's my safe space. It's like I'm there, but I'm not really there.
I love that for you. I really love that for you. I think that's wonderful. And everybody, and I'm just kidding, everybody, you go to HHN at your own pace. I'm not trying to shame anybody.
I think I'd be interested in trying I know it was a very like a buzzy thing last year, but the scare necklace, I think I would actually be interested in trying that. No scare necklace. I'd be fascinated to see how that works. So
I think it's definitely it's great that they added that, for whatever it costs, because it's at this point they have really expanded the scare zones throughout the whole park. There used to be areas like Simpsons Land where like you had like a little break. They added
safe zone.
They added like clowns with chainsaws this past year. Like there was no safe zone. There's no safe zone this past year. So I mean, give it a shot. If you want, I will happily go with you. Or
I'm fascinated. We'll see what happens. I am open to the possibility for sure. The one thing that really entices me, well, there's two things that I love about HHN: the community. Like you all. Yeah. Are so excited every year, and I love watching other people be happy. Like it brings me joy to see others so happy. And so seriously, like seeing there's this whole like following of HHN and people looking for Easter eggs and going to the tribute store throughout the year and seeing if there's any HHN Easter eggs in there. I'm a Swiftie, so I love a good solid Easter egg for sure. Joey, you're having a visceral reaction to
that. No comment. But you can just say, Nick, that when you talk about the HHN freaks, you can just call us unwell. That's what we are. We're unwell.
Delightful freaks.
Yes,
delightful freaks. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I love watching it all. But the food entices me as well. Some of the food options they look so bizarre, but tasty.
Well, we've talked about this on the podcast before, but something about Joey is that Joey can't eat at HHN because there's too many like smells going on.
It's like a weird, it's
latex.
It's like, it's a weird thing with me. It's just an aversion that I get. if I smell like Halloween mask latex, or if I'm around like hair and blood and that all that stuff on the mask and I'm looking at gross things, I can't eat around that. So it just
understandable.
So Nick just said 3 things in a row that terrorized me. Doesn't do HHN, is a Swiftie, loves the HHN food. I'm like, well, Nick, time to go. Time to go.
No,
I gotta leave
please.
The dungeon.
No, you gotta
please
leave
don't
the
leave the
dungeon.
We need you, please.
Just teasing. But I do want to call out just one more thing that I think this does. That Epic Universe, getting back on track to Epic.
Yes.
I know I derailed us a little bit, but I think that it leans into something that Universal is also, I think, uniquely doing very well, more so than maybe some other theme parks, or maybe just in a different way. I think that the way that this park incorporates original score into the lands is incredible. I mean, from Stardust Racers changing to the Night and Day scores to the Celestial Park score. I mean, Court of the Moon, that song it gives me chills every time. It is so incredible. I mean, Danny Elfman doing an entire original score and soundtrack album for the land that they're actually selling. I mean, it's really, really cool that Universal is leaning into this original music so hard. And I think that's something that you don't necessarily see. I mean, it takes Disney forever to put up like an original score from Epcot that they just finally put onto streaming. And I think that it is interesting to see Universal really lean into this more. So I love that they're doing that. I think that's a really unsung part of theme park artistry that a lot of people don't really think about, but Universal seems to be playing it up. I mean, when you walk through that Kronos, it is blaring and it's blasting. It gives me chills. It pumps me up every time. And I love it. I just love it so much.
When you were talking about art, I was thinking about Celestial Park. To me, that is just beautiful. Like walking into Celestial Park for the first time it felt their whole motto was like put the park back in theme park, and it did that, but really elevated that experience. Celestial Park is a place where when you need a break from any of the portals, you can just go sit in anywhere really and relax. I love sitting by the fountain as the sun is going down. It's so peaceful. It's so relaxing. Yeah, I could transport there right now.
Get myself a little frosty moon and listen to there's always like a singer there or something, or there's always something going on in Celestial Park.
Watch the fountains go off.
It really does. Like, as someone like, I definitely know so many people that find the portals to be incredibly overwhelming. I find like Super Nintendo to be overwhelming. Like, I have a time limit there. Like, as much as I love it, like I think it's amazing. I have to like take a little bit of a break. And Celestial Park, I don't know if they like did any type of actual research in regards to like making it that it's like how it feels like a calming place, because obviously it is calming and serene and whatever, but like I wonder if there was something that like they really did extra research into making sure that people do feel that sense of calm and whatever that could be. Like, I don't know.
Like colors,
colors. And honestly, I think that's a good point, because colors, it's very like, like these like soft greens and golds and blues. Yeah. And then so it's and like almost like light gray kind of a color.
Yeah. It's disarming. It's disarming in a way.
Very matte.
Yeah.
Very matte. And it is, I think it's, I mean, incredibly on top of it beautiful, but it is very calming. And I never even thought of that until you just said that, Nick. So great job.
Well, it also makes me think too, and you're a New York City girl, like walking to certain areas of Central Park, certain areas that you just forget. Forget that you're in the middle of New York City. You know what I mean? That was the whole purpose and design of Central Park, was to be able to walk into this space and escape into nature for a little bit in the middle of one of the biggest cities in the world. So I get that. I was at Epic for Super Mario Day, so that would have been March 10th, and I was in Super Nintendo World for 6 hours. 6 hours. And by the end of that, Super Nintendo World is an absolute blast. I love it. I love using my power-up band. I love doing the attractions. But after 6 hours, I was like, I need a break.
No, sir.
And so walking into Celestial Park, it gave me that reaction. I went over to the Plastered Owl, got a beer, and sat there for a second. It was just like, you know?
Yeah.
The energy inside those, especially like Oakenstar, the energy inside Oakenstar also fits that to me. It's just so relaxing. And even though Pizza Moon there's a lot of kineticism going on inside Pizza Moon, that is even kind of calming. I mean, that's probably the most in-your-face color that you get in Celestial Park outside of the nighttime fountain show. But I mean, it is,
but it's always busy, so that makes it not calming to me.
It is busy, but I do think that it's really, you kind of get lost up in the story that's happening up above you and all the different art pieces that went into it and the moving parts. And I love just going in there and sitting. And even though it's chaos underneath, I love just getting lost and looking up in there, and you can spot something new every time. And I think Epic gets really, is overlooked the right word? I think a lot of the artistry that went into Epic in these little ways is overlooked sometimes, because I do think that a lot of people are so excited to get to the portals that they maybe are just breezing through Celestial Park at a pace that I don't think that people who do appreciate or study and live in this space of analyzing theme park artistry are appreciating. So I do think maybe some of the general public is speeding through Celestial Park a little bit. And I really would encourage people to take some time to go into these quick server. Even like, you think it's a pizza place, it's Pizza Moon, how cool could it be? But you go in and you just see the story told in the sky. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous. And even Stardust Racers has a story, and it's you know, it fits with the whole theme of Celestial Park and the overarching concept of the park as a whole. And I just do think that's what I was talking a little bit about before, is I love that Universal has proven that you can. I think Disney is afraid to do this, and they're afraid to sort of put just a big coaster out there in the open and not have some sort of crazy big theme around it. And Universal has totally proven that you can do that with a giant Mock Rides roller coaster that is one of the best, if not the best in the world. Plop it in the middle of your brand new theme park, and it doesn't ruin immersion for me at all. And we're gonna, there's a lot of people that will say, oh, sightlines. I'm like, listen, Mama, we're all adults. You know that you're not standing in a 1930s German town populated by Dracula. The Helios Grand Hotel sitting behind you. That's you know that you're not in that town. You can get over it. And I just think that the coaster is, some people are like, oh, you can see it from Burke. And I'm like, who cares?
It's never taken me outside of the immersion of those portals for sure. That to me is one of the things that Epic Universe does best, is completely, it feels like such an elevated experience, especially from anything that we've gotten from Universal before. And mind you, Universal set the standard in terms of storytelling inside of a theme park with an immersive land, with Harry Potter, with the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. That set the stage for, okay, here's what we're going to do, Disney, react. And that's where Disney took a step back and said, oh, wow, we've got to up our game in these lands for sure. And so and
then Toy Story Land was born.
I was focused more on like Cars Land and DCA.
Oh, that's true too,
Mm-hmm.
Or Pandora,
Or Pandora, I guess that's true.
Wonderful point. That, because it really was the first,
Actually, what I was thinking about, like, yes, I mean, obviously, complete immersion, and I also don't care about sightlines. I was thinking about, again, going back to Super Nintendo, about that overwhelming feeling, and the reason why is because it is so incredibly immersive, obviously. I mean, yes, there's lots of, like, noises and colors and whatever happening, but I remember, because I have been to Super Nintendo in Hollywood and in Japan, and I didn't have much time in Japan, so I can really, but I was in Hollywood quite a lot, and I didn't have that same feeling of feeling very overwhelmed. And I think it's because that ours is two stories. And so like you're completely covered. Like it doesn't feel like there's not a ceiling, obviously, but it almost feels like
a bowl.
Yeah, like a bowl, like a dome, like you're in a dome of it. And I think it's just because like you have that second floor and the first floor and obviously the Donkey Kong expansion, and it's just, you are completely inside of it. And but that's why I think when people complain about the sightlines, I really don't care, because like, yes, Burke is a great example. When you're standing like in Burke and you can kind of see Stardust Racers, I don't care because you know what else is around me? These giant Viking guys with torches in their mouths, and I see Hiccups riding by me, and I see the dragon playing, people walking around with cones, you know? And then I see the biggest thing too, and why these lands come alive is because, you know, and it's something that I've been hoping more and more happens, is that there's living, breathing characters that are bringing it to life as well. Like Rough Nut and Tugnut in How to Train Your Dragon, or Igor, or the hunters, the monster hunters in The Side of the Burning Blade, which I always miss.
So good, but they're so good. They're so good.
But it's so true, and that was what I was going to mention about immersion. That immerses you into those portals so much. Like you're not only seeing all of the things, but you're having these really special and unique interactions with these characters that either you've never seen before with some of the Vikings that show up. Like those roles were created specifically for Epic Universe, you know, or you see these characters that you've seen on movies or TV shows. I remember the characters that they came up with for the Wizarding World. I remember being like, you know what? We've never had this level of interaction with anyone in the Wizarding World before. When you go to Hogsmeade or Diagon Alley, sure, the team members there will get into character in terms of being from those worlds to a certain extent, but not like they are in the Ministry of Magic, especially if you're interacting with the students from the different schools or the Aurors that are around. And I remember being like, I don't know how to talk to you guys. You know, I don't know how. I was carrying around my wand, and I have the Elder Wand, and I remember having a conversation being like, I don't know how to talk about the fact that I have the Elder Wand right now. Like,
did he ask you for your papers?
Yeah, and I was just like, I promise I've not done it. I'm sorry, but I was just like, I don't know. I promise I've not done anything wrong. I promise that like everything is good. Like Dumbledore is fine. He's okay. And he had a red feather in his hat, and I said, he said something about like, this is a phoenix feather, and he was like, you know. And I was just like, oh gosh, I don't know what to do here. But but to me, that was so cool. It was so special to be able to have, and not just obviously in the Wizarding World, but the interactions. I mean, Igor went viral the second people were able to start posting videos of Epic Universe, you know, and I had never been introduced to the character of Igor before. The Invisible Man is like the heartthrob of Darkmoor, you know, like, so.
I love him. I've no shame. I'm very disappointed in myself because he's truly a cruel, horrible person and acts cruel to you as the guest, and yet I find it incredibly.
Some people are into that.
Incredibly endearing, and I hate myself for it.
I think Universal needs to lean into that and start doing some merch with like heartthrob for
especially for
it would sell.
It would, and I think it's like who is the biggest heartthrob of Dark Universe? I mean, there's so many options to choose from. We've got the Invisible Man, we've got Igor, we've got Frankenstein's monster. Some people might like Miss Victoria Frankenstein. Like, you know, there's so many people to choose from. Maleva, creature from the Gillman. If you're into that, like, I mean, it's just Wolfman. There's so many people to choose from. They should have like a Valentine's Day merch for Darkmoor, like your monster.
Something about the feet of Dracula. Yeah.
Boom. We found his shoes. We found his shoes.
Found his shoes.
His shoes are in the exit of
Are they really?
Yeah, his shoes are on top of a box.
Oh, good to know. I'll have to keep an eye out for those.
Every episode of Epic Universe, it always comes back to Dracula's
feet. So it always comes back to Dracula's feet. And I think that's the way Universal wanted it, because they fully leaned into it. And
well, they need the merch. We need to see it. Hopefully they make that happen.
Yeah, like, I mean, this is the thing. How funny would that be to have a keychain that is just Dracula's two little feet dangling off the... I would buy the hell out of that keychain. I would.
You would.
I really would.
I really think Universal is stepping up their game with merch in general. Like, the fact that I'm wearing a Pizza Moon shirt is very exciting to me. So I think maybe it'll happen. Fingers crossed.
Wait, we're putting the fingers crossed.
I don't know about the keychain.
You're not going to endorse the Dracula foot keychain, Nick?
Maybe some sort of. It feels like a rabbit foot keychain, but just a Dracula foot keychain.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. I love that so much.
I feel like that. Yeah, I feel like maybe some sort of allusion to Dracula's feet would be quite fun.
Just shoes, or just shoes.
Universal does a really good job with that. I don't know how to describe that, but like they know what their audience loves and then they play into it. And
they do.
And they love a good sort of like troll moment as well. I mean, I'm thinking about Jurassic Park and
oh my gosh.
Yeah, dinosaur remnants in Jurassic Park. Like they are not afraid to Disney would never do something like that. Literally never. And Universal's just like, all right, game on. You know,
they love to be messy, and I live for it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Their social media is whoever runs their social media account, and it comes up with some of the things that they do. When Disney has any sort of closure, I'm like refresh on Universal's app to see how they respond.
Do you remember the Mardi Gras tribute store? Not from this past year, but from the year before.
Yeah. With the Yeti.
The Yeti? Yeah. You know about this, Joey?
Yeah.
There was, and it's like I don't even know how anyone ever found it because it was in one of those like look boxes and it was all the way in the corner. Like you had to have the craziest angle. You also had to be tall. And it said, Joe, remember to fix the Yeti.
Joe, Oh, Joe Rohde, Demi's dear friend, Joe Rohde. I really, really love Universal's approach to this kind of stuff. And I think this is all bleeding into, we didn't really properly introduce it, but like what's working about this park currently. And I think that these are all things that Universal is definitely leaning into. So pretend we said that 15 minutes ago, that we're now in the section of what works about Epic Universe.
Yeah.
And I also want to call out the landscaping and design. Obviously, we already called that out we already called that out for Celestial Park. No need to go over that again. It's just, we've discussed what great colors and immersion there is in the parks element of that. But I also think that they are doing food really well here. And I think that is something that not a lot, I mean, the theme park influencers definitely talk about it a lot, but I think the general public is still kind of catching up to to know where to look to get these great food items because they're spending so much time like standing in line for things. So I think that maybe the food is getting overlooked and they're going for the quick things. If maybe like they see pizza in the title, so they go to Pizza Moon. And but it's like, you got to get that skewer that Demi and I are talking about. You got to go to the Burning Blade and get all the snacks there. You got to go to the, oh my God, what is it, like the Café de Seren or something in Harry Potter. I mean, I risked my gluten intolerance and ate that butterbeer crepe, and it is one of the best things.
Amazing.
It's so good.
It's expensive, but it's so amazing. I don't care.
It's incredible. And and
I always say if you're going to splurge on anything, that's the thing to splurge on.
Yeah. And the little, what's the one called in the Goblet Noir in the back with that, oh my God, that like the beef kind of stew thing that they have there is just, it's so good. Yeah. They are doing food so well.
And then the bar, all the bars, honestly, like you have the bar in
Celestiki.
Well, obviously you have Celestiki, which you can get a new stick color every few months or whatever, which I love. But then you have the bar in Wizarding World and obviously Burning Blade. And then over there's not like a real bar, but in Burke you have the quick service and you have like the mead and and it's there's
Mead
just
Hall
so many...
is one of my favorite places to eat at Epic Universe. The food there is delicious. The mead also is very tasty.
Yeah,
but even Spitfire Grill with like the rice bowls, like I love it when you. I love being in a theme park. Well. Yeah, because I go to the parks because I go to the park so often. I want sometimes to have a lighter, healthier option to be able to eat in the park, and I think a lot of people who don't go that often actually would appreciate that as well. I think like your stomach is just done with theme park food after a while, especially if you're there on a longer trip. And so to be able to get a rice bowl with a skewer on it, and it's just, and the mac and cheese cones obviously are absolutely delicious, and they're so good. But
yes,
they're good. I think they're a little overrated, to be honest. Like they're good. But like, it's a fun quirk. But like the bread is very good.
Of it. Yeah. I would prefer. I'm shots fired, but I would prefer the mac and cheese cone there than the mac and cheese cones in Cars Land at DCA, because I think the bread at the ones in Burke are, like you said, delicious. I love them.
Gluten privilege.
That's not what I'm going for every time, though. I want some of the like different options. Like I want something that I traditionally would not be able. That's why I've always loved going to Three Broomsticks or oh my gosh, the name just totally escaped.
Or Leaky Cauldron.
Leaky Cauldron, yeah. That's why I love going to eat at those places when I'm at the other parks, because to me it's different. You know, it's a stew or it's something that's a little bit more hearty than a burger and fries.
Well,
so.
That's what I think. Epic. Go ahead, Demi.
I was just going to say, rip to. We just got an announcement.
Oh, I know you're going to say it.
To Thunder Falls. Well. So Thunder Falls is I just put out, I can't believe, I just did a whole food tour, ate everything in Jurassic Park on the YouTube channel. And I couldn't believe it. Like I just filmed this video and they just said that Thunder Falls is going to be closing to be a full service restaurant because they're going to be closing Mythos and the entire Lost Continent in 2027. So they're doing that to make up for a full service. And I'm just heartbroken because like you said, like you want healthy things. That is the place that I eat when I go to Islands because I get myself, it's real roast chicken and salad and it's delicious. And now I'm just like, I guess I'm going to have to go to Three Broomsticks to get some like real chicken or something. Yeah. I'm so sad about that. But also the cones, did you know, and it's in the video, they put cones at, the pizza place in Jurassic Park, but we have it there with meatballs and fettuccine. Yeah. So the cones are making their way throughout Universal now. They're becoming very popular.
That's too much.
They're taking over.
You're gonna have to put a cone around my neck like they do for dogs for surgery if I eat any of that because I'm gonna need a medical procedure.
Oh, no.
But I do want to say, Nick, when you were talking, it made me think because I do love. I've said this many times. I love. Any meal that begins with a bed of rice, I am sold. But when you were talking about this, I was thinking, Epic really is changing, and I guess we can segue into the next topic, which is how sort of Epic Universe has changed the theme park landscape. I do think one of the things on the note of food that Epic is doing that has changed, at least for me, the theme park experience is I do think it is encouraging, or at least by, having no real other options, it is encouraging a more adventurous food palette for a theme park. I mean, when I'm thinking of things to eat at Epic Universe, there really isn't. I mean, there's Pizza Moon where you can get pizza, and at Demi, we love the Das Steakhouse, obviously, where you can get like burgers and fries and stuff. But like even the burgers and fries aren't your typical burgers and fries. Like there's no real place in Epic that's just kind of like come and get a chicken tender with a side of fries and call it a day, And pretty much at every other theme park, that's the offerings, but then you get the other things feel special because they are so different from the standard fare. And Epic, really every option that you have is a dynamic take on food. And you can't really go somewhere that's just kind of like a carnival stand to get like a quick fried hamburger and a side of fries. And it's, I mean, you can, obviously, for picky eaters, they do have options, but I mean, it's like they're really encouraging you to expand your palate when you go, and even the food feels adventurous and daring and otherworldly in some ways. So I love that they're doing that, but we did just have a recent confirmation of something that we've been speculating about for, it feels like, since before the park had even opened at this point, but there were rumors of the open hub concept that Demi and I have been tracking very closely in the past few weeks as everybody's been posting about it online. Ooh. We actually, the day that we put our one episode live speculating about the open hub, people like posted all kind of pictures, and it was like, oh, look, they're testing the open hub stuff. We were like, what did we just do? But they apparently, a beauty conference has posted on their Instagram page details of an event that they are going to be hosting, and they are essentially saying that they don't use the word open hub because they're not theme park sickos, as our friends at FYA Pod calls us, but they are doing everything that would suggest that this is going to be an open hub conference that they are going to let their attendees do. So all of the portals will be closed, but it's like you can enjoy the restaurants and the offerings in Celestial Park and the snack stands and drink stands. So it's like the open hub is coming. And I think that this also stands to potentially change the way theme parks operate, at least in the Orlando area in the future, because the park was clearly designed with this in mind. This was clearly a big foresight initiative. The park was designed with those little squares in front of all the portals for the plug and play photo identification things. So your facial recognition technology, I always call it photo identification, facial recognition. So this is, I think, something that we're going to see have a really big impact on the way that parks could potentially change things in the future. Like, I could see maybe even Epcot doing something like this, where, you know, you close off the park, the front half of the world, and only let people come in that other entrance for like a special conference after hours event, and you get to go around the World Showcase. Or, you know, there's going to be things that I think other parks are going to have to do to compete with this, because this is going to attract an entirely new set of people that may not consider going to a theme park in the future, and they're going to be spending big bucks at those food things because that's the only thing that they're allowed to do there. So
I don't see Disney I don't see Disney doing that at all.
I feel like I've been thinking so much about this because I've also been tracking it very closely as well. Universal always have had more of a corporate feel to it when it does these sort of events. I mean, they'll close the parks down early regularly and allow companies to rent the parks out. And so there's a stream of income there, obviously, for them that they're capitalizing on that I think for Disney, it would actually be a disservice to them in terms of having to have their guests leave the park early. They'd probably have a lot of frustration there. You don't really see corporate companies renting spaces in Disney out that often to date. Now, obviously, it could change for sure. It almost to me feels like Celestial Park will become sort of the city walk for Epic Universe, you know, in a different sort of way for sure. I think what is nice about Epic is that it's almost on an island in and of itself. And so it feels like I almost wonder how many people will actually go to Celestial Park just to go to Celestial Park should this come to fruition, which seems like it's trending or tracking in that direction for sure. I think it's going to be sort of that sort of vibe where it's like you can come eat at our restaurants and enjoy all the things that Celestial Park has to offer. And to one of the points that you made earlier, Joey, there's not a lot of people that are stopping and staying in Celestial Park right now. They're going from one portal to the next. And so that's not going to change. I'm sure that Universal is paying attention to the foot traffic. I also think probably restaurants like Blue Dragon and Atlantis, they're like, we need to get more reservations in these restaurants, you know, like we need to get more people into these spots. And it's because people are not staying out in Celestial Park and they're going to the portals and spending so much time in the portals. I think some of the restaurants do suffer a little bit in Celestial Park, and I don't want to see that happen. Pizza Moon stays busy, but Pizza Moon strategically is located right next to Super Nintendo's portal. So as soon as you walk out of that portal, which is probably one of the busiest portals,
pizza and video games. Well, you can't get better than pizza and video games. And to clarify, I was saying for after hours stuff, I could see them maybe having, you know, a separate kind of shuttered or scaled back version of World Showcase of like the rides aren't open and certain restaurants aren't open, but like you can come and walk around for a corporate event for like 9 to 12 or something, you know.
I understand your point, and I totally understand. Like you feel like where you're saying that if they're doing this, Disney should probably keep up with it. I just personally don't see them implementing that because you have rides in World Showcase, which means then you're going to have to incorporate everybody scanning into the ride, and so that adds a whole other layer, you know, for guests or on standby, and more complicated, you know.
I just said the ride. And what I was saying was that I specifically said the rides are closed and certain restaurants are closed, but for a corporate event from like 9:30 to 12 p.m.
You're saying after the park is closed.
Go walk around World Showcase for like the rides are closed, sit down restaurants. There's like one table service that's open, but like for a corporate event for 3.5 hours, like after hours on a Friday night, Disney could be making bank on that. And I could see that Epic Universe laying a foundation for a model for Disney to be like, hey, maybe we should think about doing something like this. Right. Maybe not as open of a hub as Epic Universe would be, but sequester off that one entrance of Epcot, tell them to all board a bus to the boardwalk and come in that way and get drunk in World Showcase till 12:30 at night on a Friday.
I mean, we could just have Epcot stay open until at least 11.
I know.
The good old days. Yeah. I do wonder, it's just going to be so fascinating to see, though, because everything that we're talking about is after hours, right? The idea that Celestial Park could become a hub during operating hours, which is why they have those facial the facial scanners at the entrance to the portals, that feels interesting to me. Like, I don't know how I would feel as a guest of Epic Universe going from portal to portal and then having to navigate a very busy and
Demi, you've made that point. Yeah.
We've never seen anything like that before. Even with City Walk, or, obviously Disney Springs doesn't apply because it's not connected to any of the parks, but City Walk, sure, you have to walk through City Walk to go from one park to the next, but that's a separate park completely. You're not going, once you're in the park, you're not walking through any sort of public space that that would require you to not be in the park anymore. So I don't know. That's going to be fascinating to me if that's what comes to fruition with it.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about this before. I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of complaints about, wait times and stuff. So now if you're adding another layer where you have to now, if you're going portal to portal, there could be a line just to get into the portal. People might be upset about that. If there's an open hub, then that means maybe all of the dining reservations for Atlantic and Blue Dragon might be completely taken. The lines for Pizza Moon would be probably virtually impossible for any regular guest. And
they're already so busy. Even one of the restaurants too is Astropub, and they do have typical burgers and stuff like that. But it's still really good. Yeah, it's delicious food.
You like it? I wasn't thrilled about. I love the drinks, but I've
only been one. I've only been once, and the burger that I had, it beat the stereotypical. Like, if I put that burger next to some of the other restaurants that have
Cosmic
burgers
Rays.
and fries, I was literally thinking Cosmic Rays. Yes,
anything against Cosmic Rays. Though.
I would take. Although I love Cosmic Rays for the lore, but
Sunny.
Well, for Sunny.
But yeah. So, anyways, I agree. I don't know. It also is a bummer to me, the idea of having to scan into the portal, because to me, the walking through the portal is such a special and unique experience to have this moment where you're literally walking through, to have to stop at the entrance and also have this, you want to talk about sight lines. I can deal with sight lines of Stardust Racers all day. Seeing those facial recognition things get popped up in the middle of the portal to me was what are you doing? I don't want this. But
especially
I mean,
taking portal pictures, that's gone now, because there's not only is there going to be a line, there's going to be a line, there's going to be those stanchions, and there's going to be team members right in front.
Yeah.
So, listen, the Celestians have to up their authority presence, apparently, to protect their portals, I guess.
It's going to be a lot, too, though, because there's not just the portal to enter into the portals. You have a side entrance for most of those portals as well.
True.
So it will require more team members to be there, and I just wonder what the flow. That's one thing that I was going to mention that is going really well for, sorry to backtrack, but for Epic Universe is the flow. You talk about the flow of a theme park, it's designed so well. It flows, people, it just feels like it's constantly moving. It doesn't ever feel heavily congested, unless sometimes in the portals in certain spots, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Another thing that I think that could briefly Disney's obviously paying attention to, I know they were kind of we're not really paying attention. They're clearly paying attention. I mean, there were the rumors that, or actually were there photos of Joshi scoping out Dark Universe for Villains Land planning. I don't know if people actually got photos of him in there, but there was apparently rumors that he was in like scoping out Dark Universe. So I don't know if that's true or not. But and obviously they have Villains Land coming up, so that first concept art looked very, very, very dark. I think much darker than people were anticipating a Disney land to look. So maybe that was, you know, some Dark Universe inspiration in there. And also, I literally firsthand can confirm I ran into Tony Baxter in the Harry Potter show. He was with that NBA player, Robin Lopez. Like, they're apparently very good friends. And I went up to him and I was just like, oh, Mr. Baxter, oh my God, I'm such a fan. But I mean, it's so clearly these creatives are all experiencing this and scoping this out and seeing what is up. So I think we could see, I think we're still a ways off from seeing concrete evidence of being like, okay, Disney definitely looked at something that Epic did well and then responded this way. But you know, I think we're still a ways off from that because Disney's got so many projects going on of its own. But
I saw Tony Baxter in Darkmoor taking pictures throughout Darkmoor. I watched him and I was like, it took me a second to recognize who he was. It was so displaced for me because I was like, wait, I'm in a Universal Park. Like, what are you doing here? But yeah, it was during the opening, and I literally watched him be like, oh, you could tell he was doing some research. He was like,
oh, I love that from Mr. Baxter. Yeah. He seemed he just started rattling off his opinion when I was standing right there with her. He was just like, isn't this great? He was like, this looks so cool. This is different. I was like, I love, and I think I said to him, I was like, well,
imagine, what do you think he's going to say, Joey?
Fan of theme parks. Well, no, I mean, I didn't, you know, I think it's interesting to see somebody who is so immersed in this space show such appreciation for his craft and his medium in this new thing. It was really cool to see him enjoying it, and he was in his element. He was like a kid in a candy store, you know. He was like, this is so cool, isn't it? And to see Tony Baxter, the legend, say that about something, it's like, yeah, that's pretty freaking cool to be standing in a new theme park on its opening week saying these things. It was just really awesome. But I think we've touched on the things that we think the park can improve, unless we have anything super important to add. I mean, we obviously there is I think there's less attractions and rides that people were maybe hoping for, and that is leading to some longer lines. I think they're kind of working out some of the technical things that were maybe going wrong, as to be expected in the first year of a theme park. But I think those things are probably, we could say we would like to see some improvement on in the future, but they are.
Well, I think the only other thing for future attractions is just more indoor attractions.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a really good point. I mean, you've said that a lot on this pod, and I think that is really something really good to put out into the universe. And the rumor is that, obviously, segueing into our next topic, I mean, ride-wise, Harry Potter, apparently permits have been filed and all of that jazz for a attraction going into the right side of the Wizarding World, where there actually is a facade built that was going to be the entrance for the second attraction that ended up getting cut for budget, but apparently is now back on the table. Don't know if it's what was originally planned, which is rumored to be some sort of broomstick ride, but not sure what is going over there now, but that is in motion. Not formally announced, but like it's in motion. And then obviously what they're building, the event space next to Demi.
I know. Not your Captain Cacao.
I have to cover his ears because I'm wearing my Captain Cacao fuzzy hat, but I have to cover his ears because we are not apparently getting a Captain Cacao ride, which would make so much sense. And it's just, that's one thing briefly I wanted to say that I do think that this park did right, is I do think original characters, like we obviously talked about Igor and the walk around characters that they're doing well, but like creating Captain Cacao, I mean, genius. I just now need them to lean into it more. It's like you created him. Meet and greet. I would be there every day. Lean into Captain Cacao more. We need more of him. But I think obviously Pokemon is a rumor for either Islands or here, unclear. Legend of Zelda is a big rumor for Epic Universe. But then, Demi, the thing that we really want, that we alluded to earlier, and then we're actually in sacred space talking about it. So maybe because we're in the dungeon, if we say it loud enough, Igor will get out his little hammer and start using it to build things instead of club people's feet off. He can build the Gillman ride.
Gilman ride.
That we really want. Now, Nick, we know you don't like scary things. Do you like water attractions?
Yeah, I do, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
Fire drill I struggle with sometimes because I have gotten drenched.
I still haven't been on it.
I haven't done it, and I never will.
Nope.
During the heat of the summer, it is nice to get drenched in Florida because it's brutal out there, but I have to come prepared. Like I want to come with my Crocs so that I can put my Crocs on before I ride, so that I don't want wet shoes, like soggy shoes at a theme park is a no-go for me. So yeah, it's a hit or a miss. I love Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I love that attraction so much, but I don't feel like I get, especially at Walt Disney World, I don't feel like I get really drenched on it. Like I don't feel like I get soaked.
Have you been on the Disneyland one?
No, I haven't, but I've heard stories.
Don't go on it if you don't like getting drenched.
Well, Jeremy told us about that a communal bin of ponchos now for Disneyland. So that's great if you're going to Disneyland's Fiona.
That's so funny.
Is this it's a rumored water attraction in Darkmoor?
Yes. So I remember specifically, now I'm not going to be like Demi and say that they listened to me, but I will just say...
They did listen to me.
I will just say that I...
Muppets are coming to Rock and Roller Coaster. I've been saying it for years. It's they listened to me.
They listened to you, Demi.
They did.
But I did say on this very pod that there is a new ride system from Mock Rides that opened up at a park in France called, I'm forgetting the name now.
I think I've seen this.
But the ride is called Mission Bermude, and it is the same company that did Stardust Racers and Curse of the Werewolf, but it's essentially, there's a track underneath the water and a mechanism that moves the boat on top. So the car, there's a mechanism attached to the track underneath, but there's a separate mechanism on top that is sort of moving the boat around. So it's some really dynamic, cool movements, and then it can come out of the water and then go down a coaster track, and it's really cool. And I remember saying that I thought that this would be a really cool way for them to do the Gilman ride, and now that is the leading rumor. I know that I'm not the only person that had that opinion. I just think that it's cool to see that could potentially be a thing. And I really do think that would be amazing, because there could be some really cool nods to Jaws, I think, if they did a boat ride, something like this. I think it would have to be all indoor, though. I wouldn't want it to be outdoor at all. I would want it to be fully indoor. But I know Demi and I are pulling hard for that. And then the last thing I want to talk about that I think is more like logistic, like transportation to Epic. I wonder, I know there were rumors there that there was going to be an underground tunnel system that was going to connect the main resort to Epic, because I do think, obviously, as we're seeing, there is quite a bit of construction and land clearing going on near Epic right now. And it looks like a Dorito. It's like in the corner, they've cleared like a Dorito of sand, and there's clearly something going on over there. Watch it just be staging for the new Harry Potter attraction. But I mean, as Demi, we talked about recently, there's room for a second theme park right across the way from Epic. There's room for a city walk down there, a potential Horror Unleashed down there. So, I mean, there's quite a lot of things to come here, and I think we're all very excited to see what Universal potentially does next for the Epic campus. So,
any wishes, Nick? Any Epic wishes?
Do you have any wishes
for Epic Universe? For Epic Universe specifically, I feel like I can envision Pokemon going into Pokemon would be a wish at any Universal park in Orlando. That would be a dream for sure.
Yeah,
but I can see that going into the Lost Continent if that's what happens
there. That's
which
what we're getting.
Yeah. Which I would also love that too, because I feel like Islands of Adventure and both of those parks, like now that Epic's had its moment, like those parks need some like extra boost as well. And so for Epic specifically, I actually love Lord of the Rings, and I know that there's rumors that that's what's happening over. It's not been officially confirmed, or maybe it has, for what's going in the UK for the Universal over there. But I would love that at Epic Universe. That would be so much fun to me. And it would create just an entirely new portal, which I don't know that they have all the space for that, but I do think that there's some room to work with for sure. So that would be amazing. If I could have second breakfast every day, I would be very excited, and to just like there's so many possibilities because Lord of the Rings tells so many different stories and so many different terrains and like different areas that I want to go to the Shire. Like that would be a dream come true for sure.
Because there's new Peter Jackson movies apparently that are coming out, right? I think that there's a Peter Jackson is back in the
they're working on telling, I think maybe more of Smeagol's story. I think
something like that.
Yeah, but they've been doing the show. Like, there's more Lord of the Rings content that has been coming our direction. So
yeah,
what is there's like a food? It's like in a leaf, and isn't it bread or something? And I always remember as a kid being like, I want to eat one of those so freaking bad. What was it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
In Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, it's like a bread. It's in a leaf.
I don't know.
I don't know what that is, but I just want it. I just need them to build a land so I can have my leaf bread.
I would love for them, if they are going to do it now, because if they do want to actually incorporate some of the original actors from the original movies, obviously, what?
Not going the route of Michael Clark Duncan. Are you like, they need to get Ian McKellen in there now?
No. Well, I mean, honestly, like, there's a difference between Michael Clark Duncan playing himself in Disneyland Paris and being dead for 5 years, and Ian McKellen playing a character. Like, the guy, Michael Gambon played Dumbledore, and he's been gone for a few years, and it doesn't bother me to see him in Hogsmeade. It's, get Ian McKellen, get, what's his face that does Smeagol, like that.
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis, like he obviously like he
Kate
can
Blanchett, experience.
He can play Smeagol for a while, but like I think we could probably, like, with some de-aging, put Elijah Wood back in Lord of the Rings for an attraction.
Not Elijah Wood catching strays on the Park Peeps podcast.
Well, why not? I mean, he's. I mean, the only one I don't know if it would, unless you have some really good de-aging, is Sam. But but I want it. I don't care.
Oh, you mean Stranger Things star Sean Astin? Demi?
When people say, "Oh my God, it's the guy from Stranger Things," I want to rip their face off.
Like, no, he's Sam. What are you
Lord
talking
of the Rings. But I could also see a really cool show, and like using the Bourne show technology. That could be really cool for a battle scene in Lord of the Rings. I would just want them to open that portal with at least one major attraction, one smaller attraction, and one show. Like, I think you need to go all out. And I think that could be so cool. And fun. The one thing I just have to put out into the universe as I don't want it. I don't want it. Demi, what am I going to say?
I don't know.
Wicked.
Wicked. Yeah, Wicked Land. Yeah, I don't either.
It's at this point, it's clear that we're not even a year out from the second film. The buzz is non-existent. I think that by the time they would announce and finish a Wicked Land, it would be even more in the ground. No one really cares about it. And I think, well, I shouldn't say nobody cares about it. I think from a theme park perspective, I just don't know that has the staying power to sustain a whole land, unless you do a full Wizard of Oz land.
I was going to say, I think like Wizard of Oz is timeless. And if there was like a Wicked part within there, then that I wouldn't hate that. But
same.
You're absolutely right. Like, yes, I mean, Wicked fandom, like there's some fans, but I mean, I don't want to.
That being said, Wicked has stuck around as like, it's been like the musical itself.
Yeah.
Listen, I was new to the Wicked fandom. I had never seen the musical, didn't know anything about the storyline, saw the movies for the first time. That was my introduction to the story. The second movie, I walked away like, oh, okay, that wasn't as exciting as the first one for me.
Yeah.
But
you're winning back points from saying you were a Swiftie earlier.
There you go. But yeah, no, I agree. I think Wizard of Oz is far more timeless than Wicked for sure. But I agree. The thing that I don't want for Wicked is that I don't want them to take away anything that already exists and then make it Wicked. That would be a bummer to me for sure.
Yeah. Like the Hello Kitty store.
I didn't mind that so much. That was okay. But
I felt so bad. I was like, because like she usually used to meet out there, and I would always go and say hi to her because she always has like she would never had like a wait for people, and I would just be like, "Hey, kitty girl."
Hey, kitty girl. Now, Demi, what's your wish for Epic?
Well, my wish is honestly at this point, what
your wish?
My wish.
Your wish.
My wish is honestly like, yes, Gilman ride on any attraction, any third attraction in Darkmoor. I think I mean that's my land, but also I would also like another ride in How to Train Your Dragon because I
dark
particularly
ride.
Yes, a dark ride. I would love a dark ride. I don't ride Fire Drill because I don't like getting wet. I don't ride the spinning one because that just does not sound pleasant to me.
Yeah.
And I love Hiccup's Wing Gliders and I love the show. I think, they're great. And honestly, it's just such a beautiful land and I want to spend more time there. And I feel like I don't spend as much time because I'm there, I don't know, I do a fair amount. I meet Hiccup. I meet Toothless and the show and Hiccup's Wing Gliders, but I think it has so much more possibility to it. And I think a dark ride would be fun, or some type of like flight of passage flying attraction.
Yeah,
that'd be so sick.
Would be amazing.
That would
flying
be fun.
A dragon.
And finally, I think my wish outside of obviously Darkmoor, I just want more Darkmoor, is I want to see some old school classic Coney Island style rides in Celestial Park. I think like I forget what the ride is called, but they have one in California Adventure. It's like that kind of those silver things that spin around that giant tower. If you put a giant set of lights, a really cool lighting package on there, that could be so freaking amazing in Celestial Park. A Ferris wheel, like a parachute drop towers. Just do some research into old Coney Island, which clearly inspired some portions of Celestial Park, such as Pizza Moon. But, look at a book about Luna Park back in the day and toot sweet, get some things in there. Did I use that phrase right? I don't know. It just came to my mind. But listen, we have really run the gamut.
Yeah.
On Epic here with the theme park dad. And Nick, we thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much, Nick.
Oh yeah, no, thank you guys. This has been so much fun. I love Epic so much and I love being able to talk about it.
Love it. Is there anything else outside of what you plugged and talked about earlier at the top of the show that you want people to know or where you want them to go and do?
No, yeah, I think just follow me on Insta, the theme park dad. I'm on TikTok, although I'm still figuring TikTok out. And then also I do have a YouTube channel. I don't post on there as frequently as I would like to, but I do post some videos from time to time, some vlogs. And I do have a podcast called Park Bench Pals that will come back eventually, just taking a nice little break from the podcast space. But that's why I love getting to jump on and do these kinds of things. So thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah. We are so glad that you got to come on, especially, having done Epic with you. It was so much fun, like, talking about it, our shared experience, too, of seeing things. It was just, we had such a great day there, and I'm so glad we got to talk about it together.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll never forget. I'll never forget the Epic Universe opening, and I know we got to wrap up, but just being able to be a part of the opening of a theme park has been truly one of the, like, highlights for me of... Honestly, that opening day, that the media week leading up to it was a lifetime moment for sure. It was really special. It was really unique getting to watch the fireworks show that they had that night before it opened officially. It was just like, it was so many pinch me moments. And so I'm so thankful for Epic Universe. My daughter was born a couple weeks after Epic Universe opened. And so forever will be time stamped there with Epic opening and my daughter being born. It was a really exciting time in my life and I'm super thankful for it. So
I'm thankful you had that experience. That's a lovely little thing to tie it to.
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Nick. Thank you guys for listening. Letty, I want to hear from you all now. What do you think? What's Epic doing right? What can it improve on? Where is it heading next? Make sure to tell us in the comments of this episode.
Yes, dip your toes into the waters of commenting. Oh, don't let Igor hear that. He's going to come back. He's going to come for us. He's going to come down here for our toes. And thank you so much again to Nick for joining us. Make sure you're following him on all socials. Give us the maximum star rating wherever you get your podcasts, and follow us at Park Peeps Pod, at Joey Nolfi, and at Magical Hijinx. You know that's Hijinx. And until next time, well, if we get out of this dungeon, we know Nick's getting out. But Demi and I might be stuck down here, but maybe see you at Epic, fellow Celestians.
See you at Epic.
Yeah. Igor, okay, you can come back in now.
Oh, man, he's going to take my ring finger. I shouldn't have given him that suggestion.
No, you gave him the tip. Here he comes, here he comes, here he comes.
Ah, Cousin Igor, come on, man.